Good morning. It is July 13th, 2026, 7:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is your pre-market analysis. All right, we're going to cover NASDAQ, ES, and Bitcoin. Starting with NASDAQ, here on the NASDAQ chart, we have Friday's candle closed above what was resistance, looking to turn that into support, failed to turn it into support. On the new open, price comes down into the EQ. So found the EQ as support and now working its way back up. So here's what we're looking at today. This area continues to be resistance. This area is going to be support. Gonna go ahead and get my little tools out here. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this red level right here. This is our EQ. This does act as support. So if this fails to hold as support, then obviously we're going to have more downside. Moving to the downside targets, I already have pins dropped. I am looking at around 28,797 for our first level of support. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if price would wick all the way down past the prior week low. But being that we do have this EQ here holding as support, I feel there's a good chance that we can continue moving to the upside. This will be our next level of resistance. So if we do break through this level of resistance and get into the next level of resistance, we will be looking at the 30,200 to 30,300 range as the next level of resistance. So that is what I am watching for on the NASDAQ. Jumping into ES. ES is using, I lost my tool again, using the EQ as resistance. So here you can, I'm just going to go ahead and circle this right out. So here you can see that this area is acting as resistance. So these levels that I teach in the class, you can see that they work. This is repetitive. In every video I make, you're going to see these levels and you're going to see how they play out time and time again. And eventually you're going to say, I need to learn how to do this. And for $27 a month, you get two free indicators. You're going to get two indicators that I created that 100% work, that are not historical. They are real-time indicators, true levels. All I can say is you're getting one heck of a deal, because if after $27 is 1 month and you don't like it, you still get your indicators. They're yours. They're not rentals. They're yours to keep. All right, getting back into ES here. Sorry about going off track. This is the level of resistance that I'm looking at. The first level of resistance that I can see here would be right here. I would be interested in this 7,600 area for price to retest. If it can retest that and then continue breaking through, so we're kind of doing something like right here, you can see it use this shaded area, which I had as a previous resistance level, flipped into support. So if we can do something like this and then retest this right here and get through it and retest it as support, then I would say we're off to the races. And looking at the 7,800 range, 7,967 range. So this would be the range high that I'd be looking for. If we do the opposite, if price suddenly breaks down, breaking through this right here, which is support, would indicate more downside. Testing that and confirming it then as resistance would indicate more continued downside. And then this would be our range low. So I would be looking for the prior month low around 7,200 area for yes. All right, jumping into Bitcoin quick. Bitcoin looks like it wants to move to the upside. But here's the thing. I have a feeling it may just range. Now, I could be wrong, but it kind of just feels like it just wants to range in this area. It gets a little bit of momentum, like it wants to try and break through, and then just turns into more or less of a liquidity kind of grab. We do have this double top area right here, which is kind of interesting to me. So you have this candle and this candle, which have essentially created a double top. And double tops in the retail world are known as a top. And then price tends to pull back. So Price could pull back and retest, the prior month low or even the yearly low. And if it did that, then we would be breaking certain levels of support that would obviously be flipped into resistance. And I think there would be a good chance then at that point that we would come down and make some new yearly lows. We could be looking at 56.6 to 51.3. So this is something to keep an eye on. But I kind of feel like we may just start ranging in this area for a little bit. If we do break out of this, the area to break out of is going to be right here. We need to get above this level. If we can get above this level, retest it and go. And this would be the next level of resistance. So it would probably be a pullback and then breakthrough again. So this is kind of what I've been looking at for an upside. So for upside targets, I got the 65,000 and 67,000. That would be some nice continued momentum to the upside. If we were to break down, I'm going to be looking for something around using this as resistance. This is the 58,500. And then, like I said, breaking through that, we'd be looking at around 56.8 and then possibly all the way down here to 51. So here's what I'm going to do with Bitcoin just to give you guys a better view of what's actually happening here. Let's flip to a higher time frame and let's go ahead and pull our chart down a little bit. And oh man, these magical levels start coming into play again. Look at this. What do you see here? We got a much clearer view of what's happening. So here's why I'm saying I kind of think we might just range a little bit. If you look how price fell, so this area here got rejected. So this level gets rejected. We come down into the EQ. It typically would use the EQ as support. It didn't. It broke down again. What do these look like? What does the retailers call these? Bear flags. So it created a bear flag. And what happens when it creates the bear flag? It breaks through. It's like the bottom, like a trap door, it just fell right out. Now, what does this look like? It looks like another bear flag, right? So right here, this candle, you would probably expect that to be the trapdoor. You would expect that to be the candle that falls big time again down into this level. But it didn't happen. It actually found support right in this area. So this is a candidate for a good area to be just chopping for a while. So that's why I think we could range in this area, but it doesn't change the fact that we still have these levels of support and resistance that we can keep an eye on to give us clues as to whether the price wants to move to the higher side or the lower side. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope it helps. If you're trading, good luck, and I will see you in the next video.